up, everyone? Welcome to a special 4th of July episode of Caught the Moment. I didn't realize it was going to be a 4th of July episode till it was this morning, or maybe 2 hours ago. But we have Jeff with us today of the wonderful local restaurant CharQterie.
Yes. Thank you for having
me. Pleasure's all mine. And I see that you got the Marine Corps shirt on today.
Love the Marine Corps. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
There you go.
Served 6 years way back when I had Gary Eames. Now it just falls out of it.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Desert Storm, right?
Desert Storm. Read that.
I was just mentioning that because back then because right now we have like the digital camo, right? Back then it was just the ink block of that clip era.
Well, interesting story there. So I was one of the first Marine units to go out to Desert Storm. Squadron had gone out. I was an F-18 mechanic. My squadron went out to Bahrain. Literally, a base was being built as we got out there. So we had a advanced team went out, and 2 weeks later, we went out. But when we got there, we're literally in the middle of the desert. You literally see off in the distance herds of stuff. I mean, the trip I not to look, it's herds of camels. Have you seen a herd of camels? I mean, like 1,000 camels. I'd never seen the guy, with stick mushing along camel. I've never seen anything like that. But when we got to the desert, all we had was our jumbo fans. That's all we had. Oh, so we are green patches all over the brown sand. And I went the entire time, Desert Storm, with no desert camis. Now, I was sent just by however the gods planned it, however the planets aligned. I was sent my route, my squadron, over to Bahrain on orders, on verbal orders from the colonel. You're going to war, go. But when we got there, 2 days after the ground war ended, Sergeant Major comes out and how many of you are here for orders? All the hands come up. You're all hauling home. Colonel's in trouble. The general found out. The colonel doesn't have the authority to tell Marines, tell anybody, you're going to war. And one of us got killed. He would become liable for that. It was just him going, go die. Didn't have that authority. So, that being said, I was on the very, very first plane back to the United States. And we landed in Warrior, and we landed at Fire Truck Shoe. The water cannons over the fence underneath. Hey, it's great. Is he getting off a plane? Welcome to fuel, per se. I got stock like Sergeant Major. You're guard, son of a gun. And so I had to stay on the plane. There's about 3 or 4 Marines while everybody just CDC and hear crowds in the distance. They had food. There's on TV. Maybe about 2 hours later, they said it was like, but yeah, that's my Desert Storm story. But yeah, I still, to this day, I have no jungle camouflage. I have only my visual panics. And I don't even have like visual fitness system big. I'm like, oh, but yeah, it's just amazing. So
that's wild. I remember that's when like night vision had come out. That was like a big thing because I remember seeing Saturday Night Live like make fun of HW with it or something. But that was over very quickly.
Yeah, it was unbelievable because we thought we were going to be there for quite some time. I mean, when we got there, it was nothing. For about 2 weeks, all they did was just bring it there and just transport planes just coming in, but we come in and just all night. And within like 2 weeks, we had a base built, and we had where I was stationed in Bahrain. I don't know if I'm boring the audience here, whoever's listening, but at our little base, which was not a big base, it was a tiny little base, we dropped more ordnance from this base than they did in the entire Vietnam War. And that was just us. We were just blowing stuff up. And
couple things that we did notice, because we were loading 1,000-pound bombs on F-18s. We were loading 500-pound bombs side. We were just whatever we could get our hands on. They had an ammo depot. We were just loading stuff up. Bunch of guys lifting 500,000-pound bombs, connecting them to the wings. The planes would take off. But as you'd look, you'd have a manufacture date like 1973. And so I talked to my colonel. I said, "Sir, are these things even working?" He says, "I don't care. They're just cleaning house. If it hits a guy on the head and kills him, it's okay."
Yeah.
But they were cleaning house. That's why, the military industrial complex, they were cleaning house. Our tent, when they unrolled our tent, which was unbelievably gross in the middle of the desert, it was from 1973, I think it was. I mean, it was Vietnam. Big holes, dead rats. It had been in storage. So they were cleaning house in order to have this war. That's just what it was. That's why I was really upset too when we did finally get rid of when they went in to do the ground advance. It was over so quickly. The Sultan, I don't know if it was the Sultan of Brunei, the Sultan of Qatar, whoever it was, offered to pay every American there $10,000 for their sacrifice. That was 1991, 1990, 1991?
Yeah.
$10,000. 10,000 is a lot today. 10,000 back then was life-changing.
Yeah.
And I still can hear them to say with President Bush, "No, we're not mercenaries." I say, "You son of a gun."
What? That cheap bastard?
Oh,
What?
yeah. He's
That's
making
easy
money.
for him to say.
Him and Cheney, all the guys, all the families, all the Halliburton, they're all making money. Everybody's making money. But the guys that were out there sacrificing were offered $10,000 each, and he said no. That blew me away.
It wasn't even his money.
It wasn't even his money. We're not mercenaries was what was told. So that was kind of a bad vibe.
Well, but you're still, you get a paycheck anyway. I mean, that's a tip for doing such a job.
A hell of a tip. That would have been a great tip. I wish I had brought pictures to show you how our conditions, and that's just in the desert. I can't even imagine what the guys went through in Nam. But if somebody had offered guys for their sacrifice, here's some money from a country, thank you for helping us out. That would have been great.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That would have been great. So,
you ever have to deal with like the camel spiders out there?
oh, we saw some giant spiders, dude, and the sand fleas.
God.
You don't even want to. I mean, and then the latrines. You don't eat the vile stuff that's out there. But it is what it is. War is hell, and you do. I signed up for it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. But while you're there, you're going, damn, this sucks.
Yeah.
You're in the suck. Things like you've been there, 6-8 weeks, and you're craving certain foods, and they say, yeah, tonight is steak. Oh yeah, we're gonna eat steak. Let's go eat steak. So they're making steak in the chow hall, and you're eating, and it's all this gristle. And I'm like, this is the toughest steak. And the guy goes, it's horse. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm eating horse. Come on, man. I'm eating horse. Please.
Not even the good cuts.
No. I mean, if it was sea biscuit, I can understand. I'd be like, wow, this is a little tender, But no, we had
You're eating Don Quixote's horse.
Don Quixote, yeah, you had old mule, old dirty bastard mule or something.
Oh, you're eating Mr. Ed.
Oh, yeah, horses. Yeah, exactly.
So you were working on F-18s. I always thought for some reason that was mainly a Navy plane.
Well, Marine Corps is a division, a department of the Navy, which can get a little feisty between the Marines and the Navy. The joke with the Navy as well. We're your transport. Shut up. When I signed up, I'm one of the few guys, and I tell people this story all the time. And I hope I'm not boring you, by the way.
No, you keep saying that, but you're not. You're absolutely not.
So I just, I talk. My wife says I'm good for 10 minutes before people want to just hang themselves.
My wife says the same thing about me.
Okay, they're going to be good friends. What was it? Oh, my recruiter. Everything. I always wanted to be a Marine. I'm much older than you. Back in the early 70s, there was a commercial. Maybe you can be one of us, the few, the proud, the Marines.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I remember at 3 years old seeing that commercial, and I said, I'm going to be a Marine. And I'm not kidding when I say one day I pick up the phone. Obviously, we had the cord, the house phone. Pick up the phone. Hello. Hey, this is Gunnery Sergeant Swanson, United States Marine Corps, calling for. I said, you got me. I said, excuse me. I said, you got me. What are you talking about? I said, you called to see if I want to talk about recruiting. He said, yes. said, you got me. And I signed up. I went down and I signed up within 30 minutes. But I was 17. I wasn't allowed to sign up.
Oh.
So the Marine Corps recruiters came to my house with me in the back seat just as my mom was pulling up from work. And she sees this car and she's like, what did you do? And so she had to meet Gunnery Sergeant Swanson. And he said, your son wants to sign up for the Marine Corps. We need your signature. And so my mom and dad signed. But yeah, I knew it. But every single thing he promised me, everything that was promised to me in writing happened. Everything.
Oh, really?
There's not a person I met in the Corps that said, I got everything my recruiter said. Everybody said, oh, that guy lied. Oh, he nothing. Oh, I got every single thing I wanted, I got. Great. After you go to boot camp, you go to school to learn your trade. I go to schools. I go to multiple schools, multiple states. I go to my duty station in El Toro, which is no longer in existence in Southern California.
Right.
And I get to my duty station, and I'm checking into the desk sergeant. And I got my big old sea bag, and he's like, don't unpack that sea bag. I said, what are you talking about? You just signed with the most deployed squadron in the Marine Corps. I said, son of a, what the hell just happened here? He's like, yeah, you guys are going on Westpac in like 2 weeks. Oh, I just got here. And he's like, no, dude, your recruiter got you good. Well, he didn't get me, but the squadron I signed up for got me.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of sea duty. But as much as I hated it, I hate ship life. It was the most incredible thing to do in the world, going on an aircraft carrier. If there's ever an opportunity in anyone's life, a family friend, a son, a daughter, if they're on an aircraft carrier and you are offered an opportunity to go on that aircraft carrier like they do with us, at least back in the day, you could bring a father, son, whatever. You could bring someone, an adult, onto the ship for a few days to watch aircraft take off and land on an aircraft carrier is something you will never forget. You will never experience. There is nothing to compare on the planet. They could, I seen a rocket. You can see a rocket. You have never seen a plane coming in at 180 miles an hour and stop in 3 seconds. You have never seen a plane in afterburners. It just.
Yeah, with the catapult.
It's the most amazing thing. And again, that's 35 years ago. You know, what's it like now? Well, in fact, that was 87, 88. Yeah, so I'm coming up on 40 years ago.
So 87, 88, that was F-14s back then, right?
F-14s are on there. The first plane I started working was called an A6, the Intruder. There's a movie, The Flight of the Intruder. That is literally about my squadron, my plane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a bomber. They could carry the most ordnance at that time, more ordnance than any other plane on the planet other than a B-52. And now you've got the B-2 stealth bomber that's obviously carried a couple extra pounds here.
Yeah. Yeah, that was quite a payload.
Yeah, that was a hell of a payload.
So actually, I was like, oh, I didn't know the Marines had F-18s, but I'm looking back and it's like, because you mentioned El Toro, and it's like, oh, that's the base in Independence Day that the Marines flew those F-18s in against aliens.
When I saw them, like, El Toro.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's all fake. But, I mean, it was like, nobody talked about El Toro. And I was like, oh, my God, that's El Toro.
Yeah.
That was just the coolest thing.
Well, it was like, and now because it's like, it was like, El Toro's been wiped off the map. And now you're like, El Toro, we're using it anymore. So, I mean, it's canon.
It's pretty cool.
You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. And it's funny because you were talking about night vision goggles and such on our A6s. And this is Vietnam technology. We had a FLIR, forward light infrared, a ball, and it would spin. And out of it would shoot a laser beam, and that would be night vision. That was so top secret back in the 80s, even though it was 60s technology. That's how they could see. It was an all-weather tactical bomber. That was the only plane. They could fly low, they could fly fast, drop bombs, get the hell out in the rain, sleet, snow. It didn't matter because they had forward light infrared. They could see in the dark. Nobody else could do that. And that technology, obviously, now in every car, forward, backwards. What people don't realize, I don't know if you know, most of the technology in today's cars all came from the fact that they started with airplanes, seat belts and all that, because they were like, hey, this stuff saves lives. We should try that on the car. You know, these brakes, they work. Yeah, so a lot of stuff in planes. And what I tell people now, the stuff that I had was 20-year-old technology. My F-18 was an F-18 Delta. We transformed from the A6 Intruder to the F-18 Delta. And the F-18 Delta at that time was it. It was the schnizzle. You know, you got your Tom Cruise F-14s, ha, ha, ha. The F-14s were nothing. It was literally like a Maserati racing a Honda Accord at that time. It was just no comparison. And all the technology that went into the F-18 at that time, I think it was a $33 million aircraft. I have no idea what they go for now. But we took that aircraft and from nothing, from a bomber that was 25 years old, within 7-8 months after we got all our planes. In fact, we didn't even have all our planes. We got most of our planes sent to our squadron, and then Desert Storm breaks out and they go, "You take your squadron. You guys are gone." So we were still learning the plane when we got sent to Desert Storm. It's crazy.
Jeez. So brand new piece of hardware, but
Still learning. Literally,
that's so exciting though, because it's like it's the pinnacle of what we can do right then.
Yeah.
And you had to learn it.
Yeah, and that technology at that time in the 80s, the late 80s, early 90s, was already 20 years old. Mm-hmm. You know, the technology in the 50s, 60s created the A6. The late 60s, 70s, early 80s created the F-18. What do they have today that we're not going to see for 20, 25 years from now? What's out there at Skunk Works? What's out there, you know, at Area 51 where they're doing all the secret tests? What do they have? Is it all cloaked? Is it time warp machines that we won't know for 25, 30 years from now? But they got something. If the technology we have now, right this second that we see, the B-2 Stealth, honestly, that thing was made 25 years ago.
Right.
What do they have now that they go, "Oh, this stealth is crap"?
Well, if anything, you'd want to look to the B-21 Raiders that they have, because those are the new ones, right? I don't think they didn't use those for the most recent deal, but like the Raiders are supposed to be like a smaller version of the B-2, but I guess twice as capable. I can't imagine that they would be able to carry as much ordnance, but
No.
Apparently there's something about it that justified its cost other than appeasing Lockheed.
It's crazy. Somebody, I mean, the genius, what happens, and for people to, like, I talked to a pilot who was working on the stealth bomber way back when they just started talking about the stealth bomber. And I said, "Sir, how long have you guys been working on these?" "I've been a part of it for over a decade." I said, "How do you not talk about that?" He goes, "Well, it's real simple." He goes, "You watch the movies." He says, "You know, it's funny. People think it's fake." He goes, "No, they literally take you in a room. They sit you down, a bunch of guys, and literally the men in black literally sit there with a bunch of guys in black suits, glasses, the whole bit. And they say, we're going to do something super top secret, period, end of story." And at that time, computers weren't anywhere near what they're at now. But by signing on to this program, you cannot tell anyone anything about anything you're doing, period. You work for the military, great. You're flying a plane, great, but you can't say anything. And I said, "So how do they make you not say?" He said, "They put it bluntly, you will disappear. We will erase every bit of information that you ever existed. We will erase your kindergarten file. You won't have existed if you defy us." I said, "Man, that's deep."
Yeah.
I don't know how they would do it in today's world with technology, but I'm sure they do something like you.
I imagine it's a lot harder, but my wife's grandpa actually, he was in the Korean War.
Yeah.
And so he was also a mechanic, but he was part of the SR-71. That was like that was a spaceship. If you look at that in the 50s and 60s, that's a spaceship.
They still can't touch that.
You know, I mean, that's a wild thing.
Yeah.
And so he used to just say, like, I used to ask questions and they just told me not to ask questions, and I didn't ask questions anymore. He said, "Just build it."
Yep.
And I just built it. So, I mean, just the kind of stuff, like, I imagine you'd also kind of have to look for the kind of person that is like, could you save the world and not tell anyone? You know, like that kind of thing.
I'm not that person.
I'm not. Obviously, I have this show. I would tell somebody.
If somebody's going to find out. Damn, it slipped out. I was telling a joke, and I said the world's going to end tomorrow. Son of a gun.
Yeah.
What's this dude's problem? Yeah, that's you're right.
But have you ever got to work on an F-14? Or is it all the F-18s?
Well,
And
I mean,
A6s.
it was A6s and F-18s. You don't work on someone else's plane at any base on the aircraft carrier. You can go and talk to the guys, check things out. They'll let you climb up, look in the cockpit and stuff. You know, it's all.
It's just like
You're-
getting
you're
type
what-
rated almost. Yeah.
Yeah, but you just can't touch the plane. You can't do anything to someone else's plane. That's, you're only licensed to touch that plane.
Yeah.
You better not try to do work on that plane if you're not licensed on it. So,
Yeah. Your name's all over that one plane.
yeah.
I actually read something this morning about somebody that was flying an F-18 over Iran and it got shot down. And they and I don't know if this is real. It sounds really far-fetched, but they were able to commandeer an F-14 and fly that.
I mean, God bless him. He's a pilot. It's for pilots. I mean, in a sense, it's like driving a car. You got the sense of what's going on. But for mechanics, I can't. I mean, I know the basics. I can say, hey, that does this, but you just can't work on their jet. You just can't.
Yeah, I mean, I've flown. I don't fly anything like that. I don't fly anything that starts with an F.
Yeah.
I wish that would. If I were to look back and like redo things, I would probably go harder into that because that's one thing that I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
But people would convince me not to do it because obviously I turned 18 around the Iraq wartime, and so that was when like people were coming back with missing parts.
Sure.
And, it was, everybody thought that it was going to be like Desert Storm,
Yeah.
but it ended up being like that. But I'm always fascinated by just these machines that we've built. It's like the B-2 doesn't look like it should be able to fly.
No.
The C-130 doesn't look like it should be able to fly either. And then you see it take off with like those rockets,
Yeah.
and just this, like all the insane things that you can do with when you have so much money to like pour into it. And it's like, just make it happen.
Yeah. I just saw something online the other day showing about how many aircraft, all the world's, the countries of the world that have the most military aircraft. And it starts off with, some African country has like 60 planes and then, 200, 500 and goes on. And then it's like, England has 700 planes and so-and-so has 900 and 1,000 and Russia's got 2,000 planes and China's got like 2,600 planes. And then they show the United States, we have 14,000 planes. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Well, that's part of the logistical arm of the military. That's one of the reasons that it's so successful is because you have all those tankers, you have all the C-130s, you have all the Ospreys, you have everything ready to go.
It's crazy.
For any purpose. You got a special plane for that.
And they just proved it the other night. It's amazing.
Exactly.
God bless America.
Yeah.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July, everyone.
Unbelievable.
Crack open a beer, barbecue a hot dog.
Liquid death.
Forget about them and burn them, on accident.
Little things.
Order pizza anyway.
Yeah, I got it. But what else? I was going to tell you something else. I just was thinking about the Marine Corps and everything that we went through. Best times of my life, Marine Corps. Marine Corps is just incredible. This year's the Marine Corps' 250th birthday. I've got a good friend that lives out in the Virginia area, and apparently right down the street from his office is the Marine Corps Museum, which I've never been to. So I called him, and it turns out he's got a good buddy that's one of the curators there. So I'm like, dude, if we can get in there, I would love to see that. So.
If you are visiting the Marine Corps Museum and you're a Marine, you should probably not have to pay.
Well, just if he's the curator, I get a private tour versus with everybody else, 400 or 500 people. I'd rather be, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
Hold on to this. Whoa. That's what I'm looking at.
Feeling like the Colonel.
I'm feeling like somebody.
Without the trouble.
Without the trouble. Exactly. Yeah, little things.
So I wanted to get into the restaurant.
Sorry, I talk.
No,
Remember,
I know.
I went like squirrel.
Yeah, you might say we got caught in the moment.
Yeah, it is what it is. Right.
So what made you want to start it? It's because I think it's a very interesting concept. And I know you're probably not the first to have it, but we'll kind of take us through why you created and kind of a little bit about it.
Well, initially, my wife and I, we've been restaurateurs before. We've had multiple restaurants with a former business partner, and prior to being in business with that the restaurants we had, never been in the restaurant industry. I worked at the Olive Garden way back in the mid '80s as a host, so I had really no restaurant experience. My wife had never worked in a restaurant, but once we got in the restaurant business, we love it. There's something about it. It's not for everyone. It got in our souls. We really love doing that. And so when the company, when we parted ways with my business partner, we thought about what are we going to do? What would we like to do? And we always thought we're going to create a new concept. And my wife had said charcuterie. And I thought, I just don't see it. I don't know, but I'll follow her lead. She's got a really good head on her shoulders. And we started building out a restaurant that was going to be charcuterie board A, B, C, or D. Choose one, hey, and we'll build it for you. Excuse me. And about 3 weeks into the actual build out, she shows me this video on YouTube or TikTok, and it's welcome to blah, blah, blah restaurant in Manhattan where you build your own charcuterie boards. I said, we can do that. We're going to steal that idea. And so that's what we did. We saw an idea, made it ours, and currently we are the only build your own charcuterie board restaurant in the entire Western Hemisphere of the United States. This concept does not exist. And since it doesn't exist, I tell people all the time, I really, honestly, in my heart of hearts, I feel like I am Ray Kroc. It's 1955, and this McDonald's thing doesn't exist? Wow. I got to get it out now. So that's why the franchising is I'm in hot pursuit of a known villain. I am in hot pursuit of getting my franchise out because the big boys, the Landry restaurant groups, I can't even think the other groups, but ones with 20, 30 brand names and multi-millions of dollars to play with. If they get on board this, it's going to be, it's David versus Goliath. They'll tear me apart. So I got to get out there before they make a move.
Man, it's such a great idea though, because you can just, like, I went there with my wife on Mother's Day, and so I brought my oldest by there a while ago too, and it's just like we shared a little board. You get a beer or lemonade for my daughter, and just like you can go to brunch. You don't have to have like a whole plate of eggs that you're only going to eat half of,
sure,
or like a French toast that you're not really going to eat. You just wanted to come and hang out. It's a perfect place that you just want to like come and snack and hang out.
Yeah, and you chose what you wanted to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes all the difference in the world because people come in and go, wait, I can do what I want. It's Chipotle literally on steroids. Chipotle's got some good stuff to choose from, and that's their niche, and they're doing great. They have a certain amount of items to choose from to make your burrito bowl or your salad, whatever you want to call it. But we've got, when all said and done, about 40 things to choose from that go on a plate.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody can touch us right now. Plus our sandwiches and the tater tots, our appetizers, plus the beer and wine. It all adds up. And it's such a unique concept. I have yet to have one person walk in. And I mean, we've had tens of thousands of people. We're coming up on, today is day 358 or 57, excuse me, that we've been open. And I have yet to have one person walk in and say, yeah, I've seen this. There's 2 of these in Dallas area. You know what? There's like 4 of these in LA. I just went to one 2 weeks ago. You know what? I saw this in Jersey. I was in Atlanta last month, and no one's ever said they've ever seen anything like this. Again, that's not to say they haven't been to the one in New York City or that they don't know it exists. But having that many people come in and not have seen it, and it just reinforces the fact that it's something that I need to get out now,
Strike while the iron's hot.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because it seems like such a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it seems like, why hasn't somebody done this before? Because you have people over at your house, and that's kind of like, well, at least for my wife and like everybody and like my mom, everybody, that's what you put out.
Yep.
And like going in there, you have the feel of like the local beers, like local wines and all the stuff in there that you cut, like the cheeses, the meats, everything like that is super fresh. You could tell it hasn't been sitting out, and it's a really good experience,
Yeah. It's funny. everything we have in there is literally the oldest thing there is like 2 days old, food wise. I constantly buy stuff, constantly to keep the food fresh. And we run out of food a lot because the food is fresh. I buy only so much. And people say, well, last week I was here, you had this. Yeah, well, I don't have it this week.
Yeah.
You know, oh, you guys used to have that. Yeah, we used to, and I don't have it today. But it is what it is. So, you know, if or I've never had anybody tell me the food doesn't taste fresh, but if they ever said it's not fresh, I'd be going, are you kidding me?
No.
Are you really? It's 2 days is the oldest thing in here, besides myself, you know. But yeah, it's nuts. But I just can't get over the fact that you're right. No one, it's such a no-brainer. Why hasn't this been done yet? So I go to before we opened up, I went to every bloody deli around town, every grocery store. You guys do a lot of charcuterie boards? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we sell out all the time during the holidays. Okay. What about your deli department? Well, we really don't do charcuterie boards per se, but we can do, you know, meat and cheese on a thing, a platter, blah, blah, blah. 24 to 48 hours, everyone. And so we knew that we could build a charcuterie board in literally, for 25 people, we can build it in 15 minutes. Nobody can touch us. That being said, I was like, oh, we are on to something. This is the most unbelievable thing. It's just great.
And like, and everybody that's there, you know, I haven't like encountered, you guys don't have like the token dick or token jerk or anything, you know, like haven't met him yet.
Oh, no, I met a couple the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Just, you know.
I mean, the people that work there.
Oh, no. The people that work there,
Yeah.
no. Well, they're medicated. I keep them medicated. I got to keep them,
That's
keep them
good.
in line. Yeah, I got to keep them in line.
Well, fly under the radar with whatever you're giving them.
You know.
You know? We'll edit
but-
that out.
Yeah, everybody there, they have to answer to me if they screw up, and they don't want to answer to me because I can fly off the handle. You know that my wife doesn't like that trait. You can't do that, but we've all taught them a certain way of doing things, customer service. You know, I always say we have a motto in the office. There's a plaque or in the restaurant, and it's from Maya Angelou. People will never remember what you said to them. They'll always remember how you made them feel. I want people to come to the restaurant, and when they leave, wow, you know what? That was not the greatest food I've ever had, ever. And I understand that. But I want people to go, you know what? That food was pretty darn good. And man, I feel good. I can't wait to come back. We have people at our prior restaurant. We had one young lady that literally came to our restaurant in a 4-year period over 600 times.
Whoa.
We were a place where everybody knew her name. A place where when she walked in, if we were crowded, we would create a space for her. I bought her specific drinks for her. She loved us, absolutely loved us because she was treated special. At this restaurant, I don't have people to that extent, 600. We've only been open 358 days, but I've probably got a half dozen people that have been there easily 40 times. So I'll take you coming in 40 times in less than a year. Absolutely. And when they're coming in, they're not coming in by themselves. They're saying, you know what? I brought 2 more friends.
Right.
You know, I brought my mom, my cousins, whatever. They keep bringing people back. And those people say, wow, let me bring my friends. Come back. It's amazing because they feel good. My wife and I were at another restaurant the other night. You know, we work all the time and we don't get out of there till late. And you can only eat so much of your own food like anything else.
Yeah.
We went to a restaurant, I won't say which one, but no vibe, no customer service, no reason for me to ever go back again. And it's sad.
Was it more of a franchise restaurant, like a chain restaurant?
It was a chain
Yeah,
that
well.
but as a manager, as an owner, as a manager, as someone who just cares about customer service, when they don't care, it really aggravates me because it's like, why don't you care? Why don't you care? We're lacking in that. All my people open the doors. If there's an opportunity to open the door for a customer when they're coming in, that's a huge thing. It's a huge thing. Oh my God, thank you so much for opening the door. That's very kind. You know, where's the chivalry? Young men don't open doors for, you know, elderly ladies anymore. They just don't. It's not taught in school. It's not taught in just because. They just don't. But they do it in my restaurant. When people come in the restaurant, they're acknowledged. How many times have you walked in a restaurant and you stood at the door and you're looking around and you're looking at your watch and you're looking around and you see people cleaning a table and you see someone walk by and
Walk right by you and not
walk
say
right
anything.
by you, don't look you in the eye, nothing. Now you were in a good mood, now you're becoming in a bad mood. Why aren't you acknowledging me? And you've been there 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and people are all around, they're talking, they're having a conversation 10 feet from you, but you haven't been acknowledged yet. Now you went from a happy, good mood to, I'm kind of pissed. I've been here. I should be sitting down. I'm kind of thirsty. My restaurant, they walk in the door. You'll hear people from the back, hi, welcome. If you're in a bad mood, that just stopped you. If you're in a good mood, it just continued your good mood. You want people want to be acknowledged. They want to be told, we're coming to help you. You're important. Here we are. Be right with you. Let me just put this down. I'll be right back. Sure. Now you got them. And not in a bad way, but you got them. Now they want to be a part of this. My gosh. I want to be a part of this. They acknowledged me when I came in. I've heard some really good things about this place. Or if I haven't heard any good things, I'm already on to something good. Now let's find out what's going on. And then we tell them what's going on. And then the service. And then you feed them fast. And you make sure they're happy and you joke with them and such. They remember it and they come back and they come back. I've got travelers. We're 6 miles from the airport. I got travelers coming in. I'm coming back next week. I'll see you guys then. I'm on the road, but I'll be driving past. I'll see you guys then, because they know they're going to be treated good. You have people that just say, I just go grab a beer at a bar. No, now they come to us because they want to have a beer with us. And I'm going to convince them, you just don't need a beer. You need some tater tots, or you need a sandwich or charcuterie board. Son of a gun, I didn't want it, but yeah, you told me. Damn, these are good. I'll see you next week and make sure you got this. Absolutely.
You got to have something to snack on.
Got to have something to snack on. But again, you got the guys like Norm from Cheers. All they want is the beer. No, just give me my beer. Sure, you don't want tater tots. All right. Damn, these are good tater tots. Now you got them hooked. I'll see you next week. And they come in, give me those tater tots. Works every time. It's because they're now a part of the family. And now we remember their names. My wife literally writes down, she wrote your name down, Josh. She was like, Josh. I'm like, oh, yeah, Josh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Your wife is super nice.
yeah, well, you should meet her husband.
I've heard he's a scary dude.
I want people to be happy. I have a short fuse. If I treat people the way I want to be treated. I want to have fun. If you don't want to have fun, I'll treat you, you just want to be serious, and let's be serious. But please don't treat me bad. Don't treat me like I'm your servant. Do the old dismiss. Oh, I hate that dismissive. So,
Oh my God.
I hate the dismissive. You can go now. We're talking. Oh, well, homie, don't play that.
Gotta love him.
Oh, I bite my lip and I tell my wife, I can't go out. I can't go out there. What are you talking about? I'm going to yell at somebody. So she sends somebody else because I'm not that guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, the restaurant business, you have to operate at such low margin, like it's very thin anyway, with no matter what kind of restaurant you're running. But people go in there to eat, so they're obviously hungry, right? So it's very rare that somebody could be hungry and in a good mood. Very rare. Some people can, but it's very rare. And so they just have such high expectations. And I mean, my family, we had a couple restaurants in El Cerrito and Vallejo. When I was a little kid, I was like 2 years old washing dishes, Yeah. My wife, my dad was a chef and my mom was a waitress there. My grandpa owned it, and it was just like, that was what everybody did. That was what everybody was doing all the time. It was like, are you going in? What time are you going to go in? It was like your life revolves around that, And some people that work there, they go to collect a paycheck, maybe, and that's totally fine. But some people, they go and they realize that it's a local business. It's not like you're not working at Chili's, So it's like everything that you do matters so much more because you are like a tenth of the reputation of that whole business. You know what I mean? You have the one place. It's like Chili's has thousands of people that work for them. So if you encounter one douchebag, it's not like you probably won't see him next time you go.
Yeah.
But like everybody there, it's so magnified and everybody there is so helpful. And you like, they're all kind of trained to like, okay, so people are going to walk in and they're not going to know shit to do.
Exactly.
And so I didn't. And then so like the dude that was right there, he was like, hey, you guys want to, something he like explained it because obviously I had like the confused look on my face.
Sure.
And yeah, so, he helped us build the board and it was like, you got like 4 more items or 3 more items, and so we built it and got our drinks and sat down and it's just like, you don't really even have to wait. I mean, I didn't order like food or whatever. Like, I guess that is food, but I just we got our board and sat down, got our drinks, and it's like, Bob's your uncle. There you go.
Yeah.
And you had like a live music event a little while ago. We couldn't come. We tried to, and I think the girls were just freaking out.
We're having one soon for for the year anniversary.
Oh, what day is that?
Soon.
Okay. Well,
Soon.
We'll put it in the description the day, and we'll get everybody over.
Yeah, because I don't want to give you the wrong information.
Of course.
Because as I tell everybody in the restaurant, never come to me for that information. Whatever I tell you will be wrong. Be wrong date, wrong time, wrong program, whatever. I'll let my wife decide and let her put it on there.
Smart man.
Yeah, I'm just there. I'm just there for aesthetics. I'm just there for the looks. Keep the ladies happy. Hey, girl.
Just a wink and a nod, and
Hey, how you
maybe
doing?
an extra cold beer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we do. You had said about the staff being nice and everything. Once they get it, so we hired our business model. We figured we'd give students an opportunity for their first jobs. We have students from age 14 all the way to 19. We have some adults that work with us, but we've given 14 to 19-year-olds an opportunity to have their very, very first job ever. Some of these kids have literally never held a mop, and I've had to teach them how to mop. They've never held a dustpan and a broom, and it's just amazing. You worked in the industry, you know what it's like to mop and sweep. Some of these kids have never done that. But we wanted to give them an opportunity to have a first job because there's no way in today's world, especially in California, are they going to be able to get hired at $16, $17 an hour when at a fast food place or any place right now when there's 500 people already had those positions in the past that have experience at the restaurant or the store, whatever, can say, nah, thank you for stopping by, but we'll take them. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to train them, get them work experience, but we train them our way, the Marine Corps way. If you're on time, you're late. You need to be at work 2 to 3 minutes prior so that you can change your clothes, put your stuff away. Then you start on time. I don't like dirt. I don't like bad attitude. I'm the only one with the bad attitude, as my wife says. But they better not give me the bad attitude because I don't have time for that. Everything we have is in that restaurant, and I need that restaurant to run a certain way. So everybody there is on board with making sure that our restaurant is successful, because the more successful we are, obviously the more successful they become. And we've gone through, now we have 30 employees. We've lost 3 or 4 to other schools and such. They've moved on, but we've got a great crew most of them have been there since day one, and they love it. We love having them, and it's just been great. So that's why we have good people. I don't bring on other people that, I've been doing this for 15 years, and this is the way we do it. I don't want to have to deal with that. Not that I won't hire those people, but it's a lot easier to go, you've never done this before, right? No, this is the way you're going to do it. Okay, and that's the way they learn. Mm-hmm. Once they get that bad attitude, bad way of doing things, it's hard to break some people. Again, if you've been doing it for 10, 15 years one way, we sweep left to right. Well, I sweep right to left. That's not how we do it. Well, that's how we do it here. It becomes a fight. So we train them young. We train them the way we want to. They're good people. They're all our students are honor roll students, all got, life goals, not just, when I graduate, I'm going to go play, whatever in the basement, go play Dungeons and Dragons or whatever it is that they're playing today. Our students are like, I'm going to be an engineer. I'm going to be a doctor. My daughter's going to be a firefighter paramedic. My other daughter, she's going to have the opportunity to take over the restaurant if she wants it, or she can do whatever she wants. But we've got so many students doing that. And again, I'm rambling on, but we're really proud of them. And we've got some great cooks. Just got great people.
Well, if you can make it in the restaurant business, then you can make it in pretty much anything. Like because it's a stressful environment. No matter how good the manager is, no matter how good the restaurant is, you're always going to have that element of stress.
Yeah.
And it's always like your voice, you may have the inflection of getting pissed, but that's just how the tension is.
Yeah. It's
You know?
the passion comes out.
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about what I do. My wife's going to roll her eyes when she watches this. You know, oh, yeah, he's bad. Yeah, there he goes. But I'm very passionate about having things done a certain way. That's just it. But the passion makes us successful. My wife's passion makes us successful. And you're right. You can have, the margins on restaurants, you're right, are very slim. And that's why most restaurants, 80% fail in the first 2 years and all that. It's because most people that get in the restaurant industry, one, don't know what they're doing. Two, they're just not there. They're what's the word I'm trying to think of? They're
chasing clout. They're just trying to do it to say they did it or
yeah,
something.
they hire a manager and they're off playing golf or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And why did the restaurant fail? Well, because you're not there. We are there all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
All day, every day. I'm tired.
Yeah, you have a stake in it.
Got a stake in it.
Right.
But again, the end goal is for the franchise. But the franchisees that I'm going to bring on, I don't want the guy going, I want to buy 8 of these and, I'm going to take over a region. No, I want you to be a part of it. If you're going to buy 8, who in your family is going to run the 8? Well, my sister, my mom, my cousin. I want family members. I want you guys to be invested in this. I want you to be there, someone to be there to monitor what's going on, because if you're not there, you're going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to guarantee fail. Going to fail. I don't know why it failed. It must be a bad product. Well, it must be a bad leader. You start at the top. The buck stops here. If we fail, it's because of me. It's because I didn't do my job. I failed. The people I bring on, I'm going to make sure they're well aware of that. You're going to be a franchisee. It's going to fail because of you, not because of me, not because the system's bad. It's because you failed the system.
How are you looking? Like, how far are you looking for, cities or whatever? Like, are you talking like LA or still in the Sacramento area?
No, I'm going. The franchise shows have already been going on. The franchise shows I'm going to start to hit. I think it's September is the next one I want to focus on. They've got Orlando or Fort Lauderdale, New York City, Chicago, Dallas, Austin, Los Angeles. I think there's one in Memphis. Chicago. But those franchise shows, people from all over the country go to these shows. They'll drive in, they'll fly in and say, what's out there? With our previous restaurant, we were doing that. And you get people from all over the country. And they're just looking, what can I put? I've been retired 3 years. My wife and I were financially set. I retired 3 years ago. I got good money in the bank. We've traveled the world for 6 months. I played 200 rounds of golf. We saw the grandkids more than we need to see them in the next 5 years. We're done. I'm bored. My wife is bored. She's tired of. She wants to do something. Mm-hmm. So we're looking for something else. And they'll buy franchises from a Jiffy Lube all the way to McDonald's. They'll try to get something in between. And I'm going, here's a great opportunity as a mom and pop to open up a restaurant that doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. You be the first in your area. You be the first person in, I don't care, Wichita, Kansas. I don't care where you're at, but you be that first one. You set the tempo. You set the trend. You make people talk about it. If you're the first, just like we are, I've been on TV more times than I can count. I've been on the radio more times than I can count. I've been written about in every, we, and when I say I, but I mean, the restaurant, been written about in every magazine in this town. And now I got the privilege of being on a podcast, so thank you.
Oh, you're too kind.
No, this is great. Because this lives forever.
Yep.
Oh, believe me, I won't.
You're
This
immortal
will.
now.
Yeah, I'm immortal. Mm-hmm. But, I want whoever opens to do exactly the same. Be on every TV station in every city that they're in. Be on every radio show. Be on every whatever. Mm-hmm. because they have that opportunity. It's not just, oh God, there's another McDonald's just opened up. Yeah, whatever. What makes you special? Well, we're the newest McDonald's. Good for you. It's McDonald's.
Yeah.
I got nothing against McDonald's, but
Not even
just-
a play place anymore.
Oh,
Where's the ball pits?
sad. Remember when McDonald's was the place to go as a kid?
Yeah.
You wanted to go to McDonald's. You wanted to have your birthday at McDonald's. You wanted to be at McDonald's. I don't know a single person that wants to be at McDonald's. Their brand has been tarnished so bad for just bad leadership. Bad leadership.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really a whole lot for kids anymore. Like I had a friend who was actually the bodyguard of Ronald McDonald. And so they used to go around and like.
That guy doesn't clown around, right?
Oh, he does.
Oh, you know? Oh, okay.
Yeah, apparently. I'm not supposed to say. Well, I'll tell you a little off camera about Ronald, but
All right.
he's quite a character. But, you know, like they just don't really do that stuff anymore. And it's just like you go in there and it almost feels like a sterile doctor's office.
Absolutely.
You know, you order from the board.
Yep.
And you just.
I don't like it. There's no reason to go to McDonald's other
Right.
than, you know what, it's right there. Let's just go get a Coke. Let's just go get in. I got to pee. Let me just go. We're just going to go. Oh, you can't even go pee because they have a lock and you got to press 6-digit code. You got to give your passport to them so they know who you are.
You have the real ID.
Yeah, real ID. They scan it under the little laser and such. It's ridiculous. They've turned an incredible American institution into that everyone wanted to be a part of. I can't wait to get my first job at McDonald's. I can't wait to work at I can't wait to be at McDonald's. Can't wait to, dude. Did you actually go to McDonald's? Do you know how bad the food? Oh, that McDonald's. You know, they lost it.
Yeah.
You know, and who's to say in 30, 40 years when I'm long gone that someone doesn't do that to my company, you know, unless my daughter's running the show. I don't know. Again, I'll be gone, but I don't want that to happen. I'll put that in my will that better not happen. Shut it down, whatever, change the name,
Yeah.
you know, because I don't want to be associated with that, you know.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like a legacy that you're trying to build, you know, and and you have the potential to like, it really is going to be the first place wherever you go. And the beauty of it is it's not like a regional thing, right? You're not trying to like sell gumbo in Ohio or something. You know, you're everywhere in every area, there's delis.
Yep.
And that's basically the ingredients.
Yep.
The ingredients are always fresh. They're right there. You don't have to like, it's not like a sushi place is opening in Montana and you got to try and find where you could get the fish.
Exactly.
You know, it's all around. There's delis everywhere. And you just pick the best stuff. Like, where is this? Oh, this guy's cheese sucks, but his ham is good. Or like his salami's good, you know, and just build off. It's
You're right.
It's very versatile.
Yeah, and you're going to go to each individual city, region of America, and there'll be, hey, in this part of town or this part of the city or state, people love this cheese or they love this meat or there's this vegetable or a candy or something that people love that'll be on the charcuterie board. They'll be able to customize. The franchisee will be able to customize their setup for their region. You know, we had a lady come in and she complained that I would never, ever serve Ritz crackers on a charcuterie board. Oh, it's beneath her. Why would we serve that? We serve that because people asked for it.
Right. That's what people traditionally have on them.
Yeah, but that's what they asked us for. Oh, do you guys have it like in Ritz crackers? I've got my kids or whatever. So we brought on Ritz crackers. Oh, why would you guys serve that vegetable? Because people ask for that vegetable.
Yeah.
They may not ask for this in Dallas, they may say, oh, we don't eat that. And in Dallas, they might say, oh, we like this, jalapenos, whatever. Great. It'll be there. It won't work here. It'll work somewhere else. So we allow them to customize not only, as we let people customize their board, we let the franchisee customize their food that they sell to the customer.
Right.
Little things.
So you said you had a restaurant before this. Did you have it during COVID?
No, we opened the restaurant in 2014 and we parted ways in 2018.
Oh, okay. So you kind of missed that whole basically the great exodus of restaurants from the country during all that time.
Yeah, but the restaurants that were opened during when we opened those restaurants. Had we been a part of them, they still would have been open today. Some people just don't know how to keep restaurants open.
Well, they don't have the drive, and they didn't. A lot of it's hard to find people that like want to build something.
Yeah.
You know, some people just want to like, oh, well, you have the idea. Okay, I'll do it. And I'll just like collect the paycheck from it, or I'll just harvest money from it or something,
Yeah.
you know? But God, I hope you do. I hope I see these pop up all around.
The goal is 100 in the next 2 years. From the day I start franchising, 2 years from then, I'll be 60. At 60, I want to retire. I want to sell 100 of these and not retire completely. Just catch my breath and travel the country, buy the biggest RV I can get my hands on, and travel the country and see what America has to offer. I'll do that for about a year or two and get back on board, continue the growth of the company. But I'll eventually step aside and let those with a younger generation continue. My wife and I will still own the company, but we'll have people that'll be sales, such.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it. Lord knows I need the money.
Any plans for 4th of July?
Work.
Oh,
We just,
right.
you work and you work and you work and then you work some more. But again, it's just all part of the growth. We knew that going in. I keep telling my wife, it's every day's a struggle, because it is a struggle. But financially, we're getting better every day. But the first year is always the hardest. We started, we had the largest grand opening in Natoma's history, small business history. I thought I invited 200 people. I thought 100 would show up just because. So I rented a tent, had chairs, tables, portable air conditioners, fans, expecting 100 people to show up. It was 104, 106 degrees that day. Oh yeah, it was brutal. And the wind was a breeze, maybe a 15-mile-an-hour breeze blowing 104, 106 degree temperature.
Better than nothing.
Yeah. Well, 300 people showed up. And as soon as they did the ribbon cutting, they opened the doors. 300 people with the body temperature of 105, 107, whatever degrees it was, walked into the restaurant. Immediately, it turned into a sauna and blew one of the air conditioners. I mean, immediately.
It's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah, but we went from the biggest grand opening in Natoma's history to, there was a couple of weeks where is everybody? Literally, where are the people? They couldn't figure us out. They couldn't figure out what to do, blah, blah, blah. But now we're currently the highest rated reviewed restaurant in all of Sacramento. And
rightfully so.
yeah, thank you. And we're just every day just grows a little bit more every day. Not as fast as a podcast.
I doubt it.
But maybe this will help grow more. I don't know.
Hey, who knows? Maybe we can help each other out. I've been recommending people for it,
Well,
so
have your people call my people.
I
Remember, they can't talk to me. Whatever I give them will be wrong. But
I certainly will. Our people are not allowed to make long distance calls after 8 p.m. So
I feel your pain.
we'll get there, though.
There it is.
All right, Jeff. Well, I appreciate you coming by.
Thank you. This was a great opportunity. I really appreciate that.
Pleasure's all mine. And
I love the decor, man.
Oh,
I love
thank
the
you.
decor.
well, it's it's a little bit of me and everything.
Oh, you got Bob Ross. Everything's good, Bob Ross. And Bob's got a squirrel on him. And where's this? Where's the knives from?
The batleth, the Klingon batleth. It's from Star Trek.
Oh, that is. Oh man.
That's #1 in home defense.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
And the hoaxster. Yeah. And then, of course, you got Chuck behind me. So
Of course. Yeah. Not everybody can see him with the camera angles, but
but
maybe one day I'll do a little tour here.
You could do a tour. I love it. Thanks for the opportunity.
Of course.
Really appreciate
And
it.
happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th, sir.
All right. See you guys.